We're just waiting for Beverly to pop in. And of course, you guys popping in as well, slowly but surely. I'm excited for this. We're still in the process, just so you guys know. We're going to be putting this boot camp, and of course we'll talk about this after. It'll be in your CRM system. So where you guys see all the training, so where the cap is on the left-hand side of your CRM below the heart, that should start flashing as soon as the course has been uploaded in there. So you guys know, we are just adding some final touches to it. And of course, we're going to include this webinar in there as well. So anyone that maybe is watching afterwards, it will be in there so they know what to expect from the bootcamp. Yeah, let me just check in here, see where my Beverly is at. There she is. There you are.
Hello. I'm in my car. I realized I have at 2 o'clock that I have to be somewhere at, and I'm like, so I'm just leaving really early.
Yeah, it's all good. How are you today?
I'm good.
That's good. That's good. We just got some people still coming in here, giving some of them a little bit of an inside scoop.
I'm so excited. I actually excited myself rewatching it all. I'm like, let's go. Let's start a real estate
team. Right? You just like self-motivate. It's like one of those.
Yeah, well, I'm actually on my way. There's an agent here in the area that needs an operations manager, and I'm like, let's go see what that's all about.
There you go. Right? It just kind of sometimes it's the funniest thing sometimes that gets us back into motivation. For me, sometimes it's just like driving along, listen to certain songs, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, right?
I totally have my warrior playlist, and that was vibing today.
Yeah.
After last night's full moon, I don't know anybody on here, like, did we witness any tantrums at home yesterday? This is a very powerful full moon to be able to reset.
Yeah. No, for sure. So we are already recording, and I think we've got a decent group of individuals in here. So really the purpose of this webinar is not going to be the full hour, we don't think. You never know, but we don't think it's going to be the full hour. But it's really just to showcase and, bring to attention what the boot camp is and what to expect. So Beverly's been sitting on this. She's had, there's recordings in there and guides essentially to help you through the process, but she's just been sitting on it. So she's gifting it to the agent locator clients so that you guys will have it in your database so you can learn and utilize the tools that she discusses throughout each module. There's 4 modules, so it's not a super extensive boot camp, which is kind of refreshing for some of us, especially in a busy time of year, right? It's like when we have a big, list of things in front of us already, adding on to it can seem overwhelming at times. So Beverly, did you want to let everyone know kind of the breakdown of your boot camp and what they're really going to expect from each one of those modules, really?
Well, at first, I want to open up for everyone that's on to pop in the chat. What are your biggest struggles as far as meeting your goals with growing your database and connecting with your leads? What has been your biggest struggle? And what do you really want to gain out of spending, let's just call it 4 hours of your time within 4 different videos? Like, what are the expectations? So while we're waiting on things to pop in the chat, I created this. I did blogging for the clothes before they sold out, and they wanted to put a boot camp together. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like so my jam. So I really looked at overall, what do most of my conversations consist of on a day-to-day basis with my coaching clients, and what are their struggles been? And at that time, I was managing a team here in Atlanta, And funny enough, she was actually one of my coaching clients that I fired because she wouldn't do any of the homework. And I went back to her in like 2 months. I'm like, well, instead of paying me to coach you, why don't you just let me run your team? And then she tried to micromanage me. It was so peculiar. And I'm like, this isn't
So,
working. So I resigned, and the agents were like, no, what are we gonna do? So I started a team.
mhm,
I placed my license with a brokerage, and I started buying leads. That's what I know, right? And we closed 18 transactions from August through like March. Brand new team, had no idea what was going on. I don't know Atlanta. I'm from this like little dive podunk country place in Virginia. That now I'm here in like Metro Atlanta, and it was such a different vibe, right? There's like the
mhm.
population here is just so crazy, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So these 4 videos are really how I built those 18 transactions through lead generation as well. And I teach you all how to do that. So,
Mhm.
Crystal, pop off what's coming through the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have got Becky with motivation and finding value to bring. Uh,
Mm.
Bonna is not knowing how to wake up unresponsive leads. Calling people and marketing myself,
Aha.
calling yourself, getting leads to respond, learning to close, balance contacting leads without annoying them. And after calling non-responsive leads religiously, then all of a sudden they unsubscribe. So I guess getting over that hurdle in that sense of things, and then also being consistent. So being consistent
Mhm.
with what we're doing.
And so much of all of that really comes down to, like you were talking about when we opened this up, Crystal, of where is your own mindset when you
Mm-hmm.
begin your day, when you begin your structure, or you begin like your tasks for your day, because we have so much more motivation first thing in the morning, right? Like we wake
Yeah.
up and like we get all these ideas that are running through our head. We're like, we're gonna do this and then 3 o'clock gets there, you're like, shit, I didn't get any of it done, right? And
Yeah.
then you feel so defeated. And I love what everyone's saying, because there is certainly a theme there that we do really have to self-motivate. And how do we do that if
Mm-hmm.
we're in our cocoon, if we're not within a community? And that's one thing why I love Agent Locator and the community, because you have that opportunity to plug yourself in.
Yeah.
So the very first video really dives in and describes and talks about your confidence. And to be 100% honest, I built my business. I was so buyer heavy. I had zero confidence in taking listings. So I made all the excuses, like, oh, there's not enough listings and they just don't know me. And I made all the excuses, but yet I would get up in the morning, look and see what listings came on the market, and I would be pissed off because these agents got these listings. So I had to really learn how to build my own confidence. And the only way that we can do that, isn't it Superman, where he says, with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
When when you know what you want and what you're going after, you have to want that. And I'm going to do an Eric Thomas quote here. You have to want that as badly as you want your air to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you have to know your market. You have to know your sandbox. You have to know what is your client's problem and find the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really being creative. I mean, we can call it creative, but the reality of it is, know what homes are selling in your sandbox, know who the buyer is. And I can't tell you how many agents I talk to when we're on a call, just a discovery call, if they want to hire me as a coach. They're like, I ask them, so who's buying in your market? Why would I come to your market and buy a home? What's driving
Mm-hmm.
buyers? Well, I don't know. Why are people selling homes in your market? Are they moving up? Are they moving down? Are they moving out because there's no, like, what is your market? And they don't know. And it all starts with knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's kind of like if you've never seen a pink car and then you see a pink car, all of a sudden you see pink cars everywhere.
Yes.
So our business is the same way. What we focus on expands. So the more knowledge that we gain, the more we learn about our market, and the more we know about our market, the more we can talk about it and spread that, let's just say, juju. Because
Mm-hmm.
you just get so excited about learning and knowing your own market that you just can't keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You just now fallen in love with all of the data. And it's like going and having an amazing steak dinner. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like you go to a restaurant for the first time, and then it's like you freaking tell everybody, "Oh my God, I went and had this amazing steak dinner." Well, that's the way our business is.
Yeah.
And hence that ends up being your value.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first video is really about finding that inner confidence and what does it take for you. And you know, I've learned so much about frequency and somatic movement. You know, when movie stars are acting, and I always love to use Robin Williams as an example because he played so many different characters. And being able to put on your real estate professional hat and become that character. Who are the
Mm-hmm.
people that you look up to in this business, and who is it that you want to become? And really making decisions for today as your future self. We don't think about that stuff, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
just thinking about, oh, I've got to call these leads. Well, what would your future self be doing? How would they be handling calling those leads if you already had met your goals and you had your X amount of closings and you're on fire and you're moving forward? What's that future self doing?
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself in that character and do whatever it takes to get you there. Self care. You know, promise yourself a massage whenever you're done making your phone calls, really slipping into that new character.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful, very powerful.
Awesome. Yeah.
The Is there any questions before I move on to the second module?
No, I think we just got some more people just kind of being more confident in calling, probably adding more value. You know, we have, these are some more of the questions of like bad name, bad email, it goes to, those are kind of more of like the schematics of what to expect with an online lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
That's all in the video 4. The video
mm-hmm.
2 is really diving in and actually giving examples of agents that have niched their market
Mm-hmm.
and niched their marketing.
Yeah.
And I really had a lot of fun researching agents that niched. There was one, she was like, I can't remember, but it was like stiletto something. So
Yeah.
she always, all her marketing, and I think she was Canadian, all of her marketing was in stiletto heels. So
Yeah.
everybody knows that she's like the stiletto realtor. And then
Yeah.
there's another, I think there's another one that was like a cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
Another like Condo King. You
Yeah.
don't remember these people's names? I don't know their names. I couldn't
You,
tell you their names right now, but their niche in their marketing
yeah,
stands out, right?
exactly. It's different.
It's just having fun
Yeah.
instead of overcomplicating what we do.
Yeah.
Overthinking,
Sure.
overcomplicating. You know, if you just did what first came to your mind, how different would your life be?
Mm-hmm. Right. just do it. we all definitely overthink in certain areas, maybe not all areas of our life, but there's different areas where we start to second guess ourselves or our actions, and it puts we create our own roadblocks basically in some aspects and areas of our lives.
But here's the good news. It's totally normal to do that, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
does it.
Yeah.
Because we have past stories.
Mm-hmm.
We have things that we remember, like, oh my God, I made that one phone call and they hung up on me and I didn't like that feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
we hold on to that feeling So when we go to pick up the phone again, we immediately, our nervous system goes into, you got hung up on. Like, that doesn't feel good. You don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So you really do have to be very conscious of, I don't like how I feel right now, but that's not reality. Like, if I pick up the phone, are they going to hang up on me? Just to say, like, I may connect with somebody right now.
Yeah.
So we have to really be the one that's going to take charge of what we're feeling and overcoming that feeling.
Yes, absolutely. And it's easier said
Um,
than done. Sometimes it's just doing it, right? Just doing and be like, whatever, right? It's
yeah,
even
because you
making
have to
videos.
change those neural pathways, right?
Yes.
You have to change that story that's in your head and create a different feeling to what you're doing.
Exactly. And
That's where, like, drinking
exactly.
wine with dinner, right? Or drinking
Yeah.
wine while you're cooking. It's not the wine that
Yeah.
you are addicted to, it's the emotion behind it.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else before I go into module 3?
Jeff was just saying in Toronto, it was a condo king. With the late Martin Atkins, goes back to the 80s. And you can't take things personally when you're calling your lead, somebody that's just commenting there.
Yeah.
So, and that's, and I actually had a conversation with someone yesterday about this. I'm like, you taking the call too personally. It's hard not to sometimes, right? We're so emotionally invested with what we're doing. And when somebody is rude to us or hangs up on us, it's hard to not take it personally. It really is. And it will take practice to learn to disconnect yourself from that outcome. And it takes time, right? Because we are emotional human beings.
And I'll tell you, a new book, if you don't have it yet, is Mel Robbins just released it like a couple weeks ago. It's called Let Them.
Yeah.
And it's a great audible. She does an amazing job with her voice. Like, I could listen to her all day long.
Oh,
But
good.
it's a great book.
Yeah.
Just talking about, just let them. Yeah, Angie's like, excellent book. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of redundancy in it, but I think it's
Yeah.
needed.
And I think it's probably like the whole point is the redundancy of like really enforcing, and it's something even for myself. I'm like, stop worrying about things that I have no control over, right? Because we tend to dwell on those things. Well, nothing I can actually do is going to change that. So
That's
let
a
it go.
fact.
Let it go, right?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
it's
thing, and I think that's why phone calling is so scary, because it's so unknown, right? And I've
yeah.
always said this. You walk into a party, you may feel uncomfortable because you don't know people, but you can at least scan the room and you can get an energy vibe, and you're like, oh, that person looks cool. I'll go talk to them, right?
Yeah.
But when you're picking up the phone and you're calling blind,
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea what that person is doing on the other side of the phone.
Yeah.
They could be in the bathroom. They could be at a funeral. They could be wrestling their kid to the ground after a tantrum. Like, you have no idea what they're going through, but yet the stories that we tell ourselves, we think their response and their reaction, which is so untrue.
I know. I catch myself
We
doing
don't
it
have
all
to
the
go
time.
through.
Making up
Yeah,
stories. Make up stories of like, this and this is what's going to happen. And it's like, none of it's even happened yet or is happening. It's just stuff we tell ourselves, right? So it's learning to, and when it comes to even calling your leads, it's learning to recognize that you're doing it when you're doing it so that you can then correct it.
Yes. And recording yourself and listening to yourself, that is like the absolute best way to learn. Because then you're listening to yourself and you're waiting. Well, I didn't ask that. If I'd asked that, it'd have been a better phone call. But
yeah.
Anywho, the third module is, it's my favorite. They're all my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm so much a believer of community. And I always said, all my advertising was, I don't sell homes, I sell community. And I was very involved with our chamber. All the businesses opening, all the small businesses, supporting small businesses. And I had created a VIP program, because I always struggled. Like, what do you take to closing for a gift? I always struggled with that, because you don't want to $100 gift card here. I don't know. It's just so cheesy. And I'm a horrible gift giver. I'm just saying, I'm a horrible gift giver. So I was like, oh my gosh, how can I support small businesses? How can I support community? Let's do a VIP card. So at
Mhm.
closing, I ordered credit cards with my logo on it. It had a QR code on the back, and they literally were able to go into my partnered stores and get discounts. Dairy Queen was buy one cone, get one free. Harley Davidson, they did a 20% off at Harley Davidson. Free drink with like free kids meals or free drink with
Mhm.
a dinner. I mean, it was just so fun
Mhm.
because what happens whenever people are shopping and they overhear a realtor, right? So it was such a great way to create community. And that is all in that third module is how to really network. There are a couple files in there because I really stress about how important it is to like finding your niche and being in the community.
Mhm.
How do you talk to people? That's like the biggest question I get, right? Like
Mhm.
I teach how to ask questions. So there is a document there. So I don't know how that's in, I
Yeah.
don't know how that's filled in with the module, but there's a document there on literally how to create conversations with strangers, how to
Mhm.
create conversations with people you know to open up that dialogue, to be able to share what you've learned about your market and what you've
Yeah.
learned about real estate, because
Mhm.
everyone's interested in real estate.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. It is a topic of discussion often,
Yeah.
especially when people own a home or they're looking to buy a home, like, or dreaming and aspiring to own a home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
You
I,
can
I
challenge
do
yourself.
really, truly believe, from the very first module, really focusing on we are in a database gathering business. We just happen to sell real estate.
Mhm.
And the main theme of all four of these videos is building your database, building your database,
Mhm.
building your
Mhm.
database. And then
Yeah.
the last one ties it all together with how to organize it, how to work it,
Yeah.
and what to do with it. And, I can't stress enough. I've done so many classes and courses on just being an influencer and
Mhm.
how to do it, what to do. And with ChatGPT, you got to be a blooming idiot to not be able to make some noise on social media. Um, my husband had the restaurant um, just on Facebook, and he had an Instagram,
Yeah.
but it was never really used. So I started a YouTube channel and I started TikTok, and I've been posting on there every day. And we had our first video a few weeks ago, hit like 11,000 videos or 11,000
Mhm.
views. And, it's all so much about consistency and getting excited about the message that you want to share.
Mhm.
And people want value. People want to know what's going to change their lives. So when you have leads that are in a dashboard, remembering they're in multiple people's dashboards, what stands you apart? What sets you apart from the other databases on the communication? How are you being different? These people don't want talked to.
Mhm.
And here's what I realized too on Facebook. You got creepers. There are people, there are legitimately people out there that do not comment, do not hit the like button,
Mhm.
but you'll talk to them months later and like, oh my God, Bev, your videos are so great. I'm
Yeah.
like, who are you?
Yeah.
So don't get caught up in people's responses because that doesn't matter. Just have fun with your
Mhm.
business and remember why you started.
Yeah.
Remember what made you go down this road to get your real estate license, and don't lose that flame. Don't lose that excitement for that first deal, because every deal
Mhm.
should be like your first deal.
Mhm.
And you're not going to win them all. I always say you only get paid whenever it literally goes to settlement.
Yeah.
You don't get paid for what you do in this business, unfortunately. You get paid for what actually goes to settlement. but you just can't lose sight of the impact and the difference that you're making for people. This is the biggest piece of people's lives when they're making a move. Nobody loves to move, but people have to move. And if we can
Mm-hmm.
create a good experience within that, that's what is value.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
So that's really
Absolutely.
the conclusion
The
of
gist of
all
it,
four of the
all
modules.
4 of them. Now, do you have any recommendations? Because there's 4, each video is roughly an hour. For each module, do you have any recommendations on how long they should kind of take that module and kind of focus on what they learned before they just kind of cram themselves with all the information? So kind of take one, let's apply what we're learning and practice that before we move on to the next one. Do you have any recommendations on what would be?
You know, I'm a crammer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm one that I read books 2, 3, 4 times
Yeah.
because if you listen to them all and then you listen to them all again,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have different things land that
Yes.
speak to you that you missed the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's learning style is so completely different. You know, I like to go in, get it done, and chalk it off the list and say, what did I take out of it? And then implement what I took away from it all, and then go back
Mm-hmm.
and review it again.
Okay.
But
Which
I
isn't
mean,
bad.
it is really truly go at your own pace, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but each one is focused on something very specific, but yet the theme of all of it is building your database and how
Mm-hmm.
to communicate and network and build that database. And I do, there's a blurb in there about, you know, I always get, what's a perfect CRM? Well, they all suck. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm sorry, Crystal, but they
Yeah.
all have
They
their
all have.
glitches, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we know they have their glitches and none of them are perfect. But the reality is there's workarounds in every CRM. Don't let it
Mm-hmm.
be your excuse that it doesn't do this or it doesn't do that or the leads suck or the bad phone numbers. Like, it is what it is. You've got what you got. Make it work for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then, so in your, I know just kind of going through some of these questions, with staying consistent, and I'll share, but I'll ask you first, do you have anything that you, I guess, practice to help keep yourself consistent and motivated with what you're doing? Is there any like daily rituals that you do to just kind of say, hey, and you know what, I'm just going to do it. This is, and because you obviously over time, you start to see the positive growth, but in the beginning, sometimes it doesn't look that way, right? So it's easy to
Right.
deter from those goals and motivation.
Yes. It's very important to not judge yourself. And everything I believe happens exactly when it's supposed to happen. And that's been a really difficult lesson for me to learn, um because I am such a go-getter. But as far as that consistency, it's, do you brush your teeth every morning?
Mm-hmm. So
Do
say
you
you
take
do.
a shower every
Yeah.
day? You know, well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe sometimes I skip a day, but we really need to create in our lives the outcome and the results that we want. And I really feel that focusing on your future self,
Mm-hmm.
like really creating that, I'm just going to say character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not going to be the same person in 5 years that you are today. Your
No.
business is not going to be the same business in 5 years that it is today. What do you want that business to look like? Who is that person when that business is like that? And you have that confidence and you have that team and you have the sales and you have the abundance.
Mm-hmm.
When you can slip into that, that is your consistency,
Mm-hmm.
because you get so addicted is the word that comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
So addicted to that future self because you really like that person.
Yes. And it's even like the completion of things or doing things that it gives you that that little bit of a rush, and it's a good feeling, right? So we want to keep doing that to keep having that similar sensation while we're going through our journey or through our path of whatever it is that we're doing. One thing that I found for me lately is I started this 90-day peak, and it helps keep ourselves accountable because we have to journal it. So every day it starts off with 3 things that you're grateful for. So you show your gratitude and what you already have and where you've come, and kind of where it could even be you're grateful for your cup of coffee, right? It doesn't have to be significant things. But then there's 4 critical tasks. So 4 critical tasks when it has to do with your life, your business, anything. 4 must-dos for that day that you need to accomplish. And they don't have to be big. Like I'll have one, it'll be like pick up the dog medication because I'm like, that's a critical task. I need to get that done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And then some will be more extensive. But just going through, and at the end of the night, you're reflecting your day, but just being able to go off and check things off your list every day, you have that sense of accomplishment, regardless of how big or small your tasks were, but it gets you into the groove of holding yourself accountable because you want to go into your journal at the end of the night and be able to say, yes, I finished that. Yes, I finished that. Yes, I finished that. And then reflect on it. So it keeps you kind of self-motivated in the process. And I'm quite enjoying it. So that's
And a big piece of that, Crystal, what was coming up as you were talking that really, I think, becomes difficult, right? Let's think about those days where you are on your game, you are confident, everything is going right, things are amazing, everything you're saying is just hitting and landing perfectly, and you're on fire and your frequency is like off the charts, right?
Yeah.
That frequency is called being in the flow. The unfortunate thing is that is our birthright to be in that frequency, but we live in this world
Yeah.
that, things are coming at us, coming at us, coming at us. But the reality is, right? What is your self-care like? Because when your tank is full, your reactions and your responses to certain things are much, much different, right? When
Oh,
your
they
tank
are.
is full, somebody may be able to come at you and you're like, huh. But if you're depleted,
you're just,
your
you take it
reaction's going to be a
differently.
lot different.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So it's really being able to also recognize what does it feel like in your body whenever you are in that high frequency and you are unstoppable, you are invincible. What does that feel like? And then what does it feel like when you're like Debbie Downer and you just want to like throw a shoe at everybody, right?
Oh, yeah. It's
And
you can feel it.
what does that take? Like, what's going to take to turn up the dial? Turn it up a little bit more. Turn up a little bit. What's it going to take to turn up that dial? What do you need emotionally, physically, personally for you to fill that tank?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a big piece of success, right?
Yeah, it's feeling it. And then even like, as you said, recognizing. So recognizing your, we call it the valley of despair. In the valley of despair, when you've gone from here and then all of a sudden you're sitting down here and you can't seem to get out of it. And then something triggers and all of a sudden you're back out of the valley of despair, right? So it's recognizing and knowing that the valley isn't permanent either, right? You're swaying back and forth. You just need to get enough momentum to get back up over and up that hill, right? So it's recognizing and knowing for one that you're not there forever, but recognizing is a huge, and that's for many, it's a huge thing to recognize and learn to recognize what got us there in the first place and how do we get ourselves out.
Well, like I said, without that judgment, right? Like there's some days that you just can't get out of that funk.
Yeah.
So sit and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Sit and play your games on your phone because you're not going to do it forever.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's we put so much stress on our own selves by judging our own self. And it's take that time to self-reflect and to sit back and say, you know what? I need a beat. I need a beat. Yep. And that's okay.
Just let me be. It's hard when you got kids.
Let me be.
They don't let you be.
Just let it be.
lock, lock ourselves in our bedrooms. Mom's in timeout.
I love that time. But that's really, I mean,
Awesome.
that is the
Yeah,
overview of everything.
absolutely.
It's
Uh,
evergreen. Like that content will never go away. Like that is
no, and
is
it's yeah, that's it's the nature of the business and the nature of how to be in that business. For those of you that did jump on afterwards, I was discussing. So I'm just in the final stages. We have, similar to how you guys may have done the courses that you find in your CRM, so the ad semi, the CRM, lead conversion, those ones. In your CRM system, you guys have that cap on the left-hand side. It is going to be in there. Okay, so as soon as it gets uploaded in there, I'm anticipating, what are we, Tuesday, by Friday at the latest, it is going to be in there. It'll have this video recap in there as well, just in case anyone's watching this after the fact through one of our posts. This is going to be in there if you guys need to turn back to it, but it'll all be in there. All the videos, the PDFs, any links that Beverly has provided in there, it'll all be in there for you guys to access.
and if you can't find it or it's not there, Beverly at
Just
beverlyruffner.com. Just shoot me an
yeah.
email. I have so much content sitting in my
Mhm.
drive. So much content.
Like, what do I do with this?
Yes,
Ah,
yes, yes, yes,
there you go.
yes.
Awesome. Awesome. I think that's probably it, unless anyone has any questions about the boot camp at all.
Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciate.
Yeah. So Becky, in your CRM system, on the left-hand side, you're going to see what looks like a graduation cap. That's our training portal. So for all of you guys that have never gone over there and clicked on it, there's a lot of online training right at your fingertips in your CRM system. So it'll be in there. So it'll actually start flashing at you. You'll see that blue flash on it when anytime there's been information added in there. So you'll be able to, all of you should be able to see that flash. Click on it, you'll be able to see it in there. And again, if you're looking for it again by Friday, it should goal Friday in there. If you're not seeing it in there, you can reach out to myself. You can reach out to support, and we will make sure you get a copy of it nonetheless.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Crystal, for allowing
Yeah,
me to gift this all to everyone.
no problem. We appreciate it. We all
And this
do.
all came up, right, from the
Yeah.
webinar we did in December
Yeah.
because because I kept saying value, value, value. And they're like, what's value?
Yeah.
This is this is value, right?
Yeah.
Give, 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 give,
Give.
give.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can all grow together.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, have a beautiful day, everyone.
You
Thank you
as
again so much
well.
for your time.
Perfect. Thanks,
Bye.
Beverly. Thanks, everyone.